And we are back from the break. And just before the break, Braxon, you had a question for Finn?
Yeah, Brax's question's kind of mundane. Rather than asking about the other stuff, he's going to ask about the internal structure of the shed. Does it look like the metal bars go all inside? Or, if necessary, could we pull down some of the shed make it look like the shed's caved in and poke it down that hole and try and start a fire?
Well, I don't think anything about the fire would seem natural.
No, but what I was thinking is, you said there was a hot thing down the hole. So if we engineered a situation where some planks were poking down that hole, I could use my flaming sword to set light to the shed, so that a party of repair people come to look at the shed, and we could do the same thing with those holes.
So we're going to damage the shed to have somebody come up and repair it. So the shed is still in our way?
I think he means to ambush them.
Yeah, to get people to come out. I'm not saying we should do that. I'm saying, does it look like the shed's built in such a way that I could make it believably that it was blown down by winds or something and caught fire?
I'd describe what I saw inside of it, but I don't think that you're going to make it look that natural.
So, what I would say is, first of all, Finn, you would know that unless the spell on the grate is more powerful than heat metal, the best you ever get out of that is smoldering from wood. So, just a little bit of smoke and no actual flames.
Right.
Turn
okay.
into charcoal over a long period of time, probably.
Fair enough.
A very, very long period of time. So
Yeah.
you're not too likely to have that feel reasonable. Now, obviously, if there is smoke coming down and getting dispersed into the facility, then, they will very likely send out a crew to investigate what's going on.
Of course, if all these grates tie together, if there's more than one, they're not going to know which one it is without checking them all.
Or even just like a putrid smell, like something had died in like one of the vents or something, but it got stuck somewhere.
Well, the holes are small enough to get animals in, aren't they?
Well, I think that's what the grate is for.
Yeah, I mean, the small animals can fit through, but the heat from the one grate is going to deter most creatures from going even close to it.
Hulurat did see some animals in the area, but you were saying there wasn't enough for us to eat. But perhaps if we caught animals and killed them as peacefully as possible, we could.
Finn is going to look him directly in the eyes and say,
You don't
"No."
kill. It's easier just to make any old stench than just kill, take life.
Okay.
He has to be already dead.
Do you remember that there was the whole illusion on top of the shack?
Yeah, but animals will just walk into it occasionally.
Maybe we can find a dead animal. Then, if we find a dead animal,
it doesn't. I don't think it matters. If we wanted to do it, we could do it, but I don't think we do.
So Finn would be able to tell you that, given the nature of how the air is being brought down into the shaft and how it splits up and stuff like that, to really get a powerful stench through the facility kind of thing, rather than just a tiny whiff for a very short period of time, you would need a pretty significant amount of putrefying flesh up here.
Right. Okay.
Like,
fair enough.
A very large animal or a lot of small ones. So it's like, it would take a lot.
Or a prisoner that tried to escape. If we got hold of a prisoner anyway. Here nor there anyway.
Yeah, but I thought the idea with the other hole was to find a way to make them want to come up and repair the hole so that we could ambush the people doing the repairs.
Well, the other
So-
possibility here is we use the hole as our way in.
Okay. Won't we all get burned?
No, we dispel it.
Well,
I just
that's
failed
kind
on
of
my
what the
attempt.
dispel was
Right.
for.
Sorry.
Do you have any?
I have one,
capability,
but I can't
Herbie?
get. I have one, but I'm not going to be able to get back in and out today
Hmm.
without someone else helping me with changing my size.
How hard is it to remove the grate noisily? Could we do it within a silence 15-foot radius time period?
A crowbar or two and some work would probably get that out without too much real trouble. I mean, it's very doable. It's just, as far as you can tell, it's just a wooden metal kind of thing. If you have a shape wood or a warp wood, that might make it easier.
No, I do not. Not anything I've got that could be remotely useful is just silencing it.
So you said that this shed's only 5 feet by 5 feet, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we had a couple of stronger people pick it up if it wasn't anchored to the ground, could they just move it?
Tipping it over would probably be the easiest thing in that way. I'm not sure if you have enough people to pick it up and move it, especially if you've softened the ground beneath it, because that would probably affect where you guys would be standing.
Okay. Well, the tipping it over would work too.
Yeah. Tipping it over would be pretty easy. Braxon and Ockar certainly could do that.
How, on a slightly different note, how hard would it be to lift off the roof?
Same difficulty and sound as pulling out a grate. It's well constructed.
Yeah.
If we tip it over the right way, we might be able to lay it down gently and not make a lot of noise.
Forgive me, what's the goal of this again?
To get Finn inside so he can dispel.
Oh, I thought he... I didn't realise the
Well,
grate was
no, I
connected
was-
to the...
Okay, there's more than one grate here. There's the hot grate down in the shaft, and then there's the grates on the shed, and I think we're talking about both of them at the same time.
You ask about reducing? Well, Leva could reduce you. But it doesn't last very long.
Oh, I'd only need enough time to get in, cast a spell, and get out.
Old, would that work?
Sure. He'd have a little problem climbing back out.
Someone could levitate him with my ring. I would rather not take off my ring if someone else were to do it.
I could have you fly. I could cast fly on you.
That would work.
All right, let's do that.
All right. Is he gonna
Any
cast?
variation?
Yep. You gonna cast fly
you-
first or reduce first?
It doesn't really matter. Fly.
It's
All
like,
right.
can you communicate with elementals, Finn?
Not yet.
Because
Oh, is this a later thing? Mm.
fly lasts longer than reduce.
Okay.
So she cast it.
Yep. They both work.
Wow, good. Off you
Okay.
go.
All right. So Finn, you are reduced, very very small. And you can easily fly in, and you can actually hover over the shaft and cast Dispel Magic down there.
All right, that'll work.
I'm still... Well, actually, I need to check the duration of my magic. I think it's only a turn.
Does this matter for my dispel roll?
Well, it would let us know. Well, I guess you could feel it if it gets colder than the spell's been dispelled, I guess.
Now that you guys know what to look for in there, I think, I mean, it would take time for it to cool off, but, like, if you do the Dispel and, wait a little bit and then go down, you know, it would only take a few minutes, so Reduce and, Fly would give you plenty of time to be able to wait a few minutes to see if it cools off.
Okay.
Alright, so use the Dispel Magic. No.
Oh, that sucked.
Nope. So yeah, that would definitely not work. Now, if you continue to be unable to dispel the magic, if you can hook it with metal and get enough force on it to like rip the grate out, you could do that, and you wouldn't need to worry about the fact that it's still hot, kind of thing. But I don't know if you have that capability in the party at the moment.
Hey, Braxon, do you think we could put some kind of hook on your rope?
I got a grappling hook, but I don't know if it can take that kind of force.
Oh, to try and pull the shed over.
Oh no, to pull the hot grate up and out.
Oh, right. Okay.
A crowbar might be better if a crowbar can fit in between the grates, and then you can just
Can you reach a crowbar down 10 feet?
Ring of telekinesis.
You wouldn't be able to exert enough force on the grate.
No, it's just to get
I mean,
it into position.
But then you still need to hold it. Like, you need to exert
Yeah, the
force.
ropes on it. We'll pull it. Well, not me, because I'm tiny, and so is Finn. So it'd just be Braxon and Leva at the moment.
I think I see what you're trying to do. Using the crowbar just to tie it onto the rope, slip it down between the bars, have it turn, and then pull it out.
Yeah.
Kind of like a T-plug.
Yeah, essentially.
The only problem is what happens if the rope comes in contact.
Just get hot.
No, it might damage the rope.
I mean, it's magical rope. It doesn't burn instantly. Unlike regular rope, that will.
And we did already establish that it's probably only hot enough to smolder, not really burn anyway. But it's your rope, so it's up to you if you want to take that risk or not.
Okay, Braxon will. Well,
also, I'm going to say that these are great ideas, but
Yeah.
maybe we should wait until we're ready to actually go in to do it.
We probably should, yeah, because.
So hold on a second, Finn. You said that they're great ideas.
Oh,
yes.
don't.
Yes, I did.
That's Braxon levels of terrible.
I'm sorry, I could not resist. I couldn't resist.
Also, I don't have a soften earth and stone ready right now anyway, so. Which I'm also thinking, I need to look at the spell and see how much I can affect. If I can get it all the way down to where the grate is, that'll make it easier to pull out.
That was a cheesy joke called.
It was.
Or no,
I thought
soften earth and stone.
That wouldn't
yeah,
work.
that wouldn't work. Stone shape would if anyone has access to stone shape.
I think I do. I just need to find where it is.
It's third level clerical spell, Sphere of Elemental Earth.
Yes, I'm aware of that part. I'm wondering what book it's in.
It's Player's Handbook.
Okay.
Or in Tome of Magic.
No, it's Player's Handbook.
It's Player's Handbook.
Yep, there it is.
I have it here.
Okay.
Stone shape can be used on any stone.
But I have to touch it.
Yeah. But you don't have to touch the grate, you touch the stone around the grate.
And it does affect 9 cubic feet plus 1 cubic foot per level.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that if you've got the grate hooked, so that if it goes loose, then you could reach down, like lay on your belly stick your arm down as far as possible. You're not going to touch the grate. You're still going to be quite a bit of space away, but you could touch the stone there, and that would affect enough that it would be loose. Maybe not entirely loose as if you had gotten right down there to touch the stone right there, but if you've eliminated 3 sides of it, and you only need to pull against one side kind of thing, it'll be a lot easier, a lot less force would be necessary. So, that's a possibility. You still might want to get, have some manner of getting all the way down there to be able to touch the stone real close to it. But you'll have that possibility. Because if you can stone shape away the entire thing, then you're going to be looking at a lot less noise. Whereas even one side, you're still going to be like ripping out the
you can
stone
silence
from
it.
If I'm not mistaken, Finn can affect 19 cubic feet area of effect for the stone ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's also 10 feet down,
Yeah.
so...
Yeah, you have to be closer to it, but...
But so I mean, like I'm giving you multiple possibilities on how you go about it.
Yeah. No, I like this plan. It's just a matter of...
I have a question for the spellcasters.
Oh.
Can we, those of you that can do the warp wood thing, can use the warp wood to make us like a hatch, not a door with hinges, but just a thing that we can remove and put back on.
So there's 2 possibilities there that I can tell you as Dungeon Master. Number 1, I think there is some ability to shape wood for movement. I'd have to double check the spell, and I'll let the spellcasters actually do that. But if you shape wood to make a panel, to remove a panel, you could then shape wood again later to put it back just the way it was, and hopefully no one would be the wiser.
Yeah.
So like there's at least one way that you could easily do that, and there's a second way that you might be able to do it as well.
Yeah, I was more so thinking that if we're trying to make it so that we can enter through this hut, we could make it so that we can get inside without all having to be miniaturized.
Except you still have to fit down the opening.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
But without the shed there, or with a way into the shed, then at least you don't have to go through the grates, the grates in the shed to get in to there.
Yeah.
It would give you more space around it to play with and stand and stuff like that.
Side question.
Mm-hmm.
If something's been made permanent, you can't cancel it with a reverse of a non-permanent version. Like chill metal.
You can temporarily do that. Like if you cast chill metal on heat metal, it will temporarily cancel it for the duration of chill metal.
We're trying to dispel it. At most, it would just disperse it for a while. It's never going to be permanently dispelled by dispel magic.
No, if some of the things you can still dispel something made permanent with permanency. It depends on the things. The way that I rule it is that if it took you a constitution point to make permanent, then no, dispel magic is only going to temporarily nullify that. If it did not have a guaranteed constitution point loss, which is what any type of enchanting an item to do as opposed to an area, then there's only a 5% chance of losing constitution to make that permanent. That can be dispelled.
Yeah.
But that way, like, the reason that I do that is because I find it, like, number one, NPCs have a constitution score that is effectively arbitrary. I can roll it, sure, but I can also just say, yeah, this NPC has a 15 constitution. And it doesn't matter, like, what things they have made permanent and stuff like that. I'm not going through their entire life and deciding how, what they've done and how much they've done and stuff like that. So, as PCs, dispelling that, being able to dispel one of those things permanently, like eliminate a permanent invisibility that they have on themselves, unless we're talking an NPC who is like a long-running character who's going to be like a villain through multiple adventures and multiple levels and stuff like that, that's the only time that it is something where that really matters. Whereas for you as PCs, if you have made one of those things permanent, you've sacrificed a point of Constitution, and some enemy wizard just comes along and dispels that, feels real bad, man. And I don't like that. I feel like that's not terrific design there. So, if it's something that cost a point of Constitution to make permanent, Dispel Magic will only suppress it. If it only had a chance of losing the Constitution, but it's also not a true magic item, then yeah, that can be dispelled.
How would my Wand of Negation affect this? Because it's technically an item.
Let me take a look. I think the Wand of Negation only works on... The Wand of Negation only works on spell effects from created by items. Like, the Wand of Negation does not negate the item, it negates the effect that it creates. So, like, for example, Leva's Wand of Force that creates a wall of force, you could negate that wall of force, I believe, but you could not negate a wall of force created from a scroll or an actual spell, and you would also not disable the Wand of Force itself. Yeah. It negates the spell or magical functions of rods, staves, wands, and other magical items. So yeah, this would have no effect on that that heat metal unless it was created from a device, essentially. All right, what are you guys thinking?
Well,
you could also go loop Solas into the conversation as well if you want, and Ockar.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we should return to camp and discuss it amongst the entire party before we do anything.
Right now, there's a couple of miniature people that need to hop rides.
Would it be faster to get to the observation post rather than going all the way back to camp?
No.
Okay.
The camp is basically midway.
Oh, right, okay.
Finn shouldn't stay small very long. No more than 15 rounds. Max. I think
5 rounds a level.
5 rounds
Mine,
a level, yeah.
Mine's lasting 45 minutes, but mine's static.
Well,
I could enlarge you. Does somebody want to be enlarged?
Braxton's happy to give someone a carry.
Just
or two of them a carry.
You can just carry a save with spell and might get into a fight.
Well, in that case, it's better if you're enlarged, isn't it?
But you can enlarge at that point. Otherwise, you just rather than
There's also spell memorization for the next day.
Anyway, Finn can fly. That spell lasts a lot longer.
Yep.
I see how it is.
Braxton's
Yes, you have to go uppies for Braxon or Leva.
Uppies.
Yeah.
Just to circle back on the point of the shed itself, I just think it's a better idea to move the entire shed out of the way than putting a small opening in it, because then how are we all going to get around the hole to pull on the grate?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you'll get a lot more you have a lot more space to work with if you somehow remove the entire shed.
Well,
I can
When
just
we-
soften the rock it's bolted into clay, and you can just tip it over. And if you set
Yeah.
it down gently enough, it won't even make a lot of noise.
Okay.
And once it's, tipped over and pulled out and everything like that, and the soften earth and stone has expired, then you can basically move it wherever you want. You can just, get it out of the way, kind of thing, if that's what you want. You could also leave it where it is or whatever. The point is that once it's out of the rock, then you have flexibility on that.
Yeah, I was just thinking from my point of view, but yeah, it might be that we move it and move it back. I was just thinking that if we go down there and a patrol's outside that we haven't seen, and they see the shed, and the shed's covering the hole, they won't check the hole, see if it's been interfered with.
You're hundreds of feet up a rocky mountain, unless
right.
you really have decided to put it someplace obvious.
Okay.
It's not too likely that without a patrol coming up the mountain that it'll be seen.
Alright, so we need firewood.
All right. So you get back to camp and send someone over to Ockar and Solas.
What?
I'm asking.
Can you repeat the question?
Well, I wasn't asking you because you and Solas are on are watching, and the rest of the party is going back to camp. So is someone going over to get Solas and Ockar, or what?
It's okay, Ockar. Ockar can have the snooze while Solas keeps the watch.
No. I'm keeping a watch with the spyglass.
If nobody wants to go, they will cast Ascending. Says, come here.
Well, I can outer self, but I don't know how fast I can travel and how far away it is.
Well, it's too late. She's casting.
It takes a turn for you to cast something.
1 round. No, 1 turn. Sorry.
Yeah, that's
misread.
10 minutes.
Yes.
You could walk there in 10 minutes, probably. Besides, you can send to Nor to check that he's alright.
I presume that when we start walking up, that Ockar would look at us with the spyglass.
How?
No, they would not see you coming. They might hear you
would
coming,
listen.
but they won't see
Okay.
you
Yeah,
coming
you are-
because they're looking the opposite direction.
Yeah, you are coming
okay.
from the opposite direction. We are keeping eye on the potential patrols, not checking when you are coming back.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, so Leva casts Ascending, even though they're
Yes.
about 20 minutes away from you. Okay.
We're too lazy.
So who are you sending it to, Ockar
Yeah,
or
well,
Solas?
search first.
All right.
She might send a fireball through the ether dark.
Oh no,
They will-
that would actually go off in your face. All right,
Level variation.
it is successful.
Come
Okay.
on, where's the target falls in love over a phone call?
Psst. She's in love with a horse anyway, with her phantom horse. So there.
That you have a
Uh,
cast.
She's sending it to Ockar because he looks. No, she got the feeling he was asleep for some odd reason.
So Ockar, you get a message, sending message from Leva. However, it is getting to you just after a patrol has gone out. It's about 1 p.m. now.
Oh, and we were supposed to keep an eye out for patrols,
You just
right?
tell them.
You can respond.
Yeah.
You can respond up
You
to
got about-
25 words.
I'll respond that message. Wait, no, a patrol just left the prison or the compound. Do you still want us to come back?
You would probably
I can't.
she can't respond to that, but what I would suggest is something along the lines of a patrol just left the prison and will monitor and come back if something changes.
Right, right. Okay, so I'll send that back.
And Leva alerts the others there's a patrol on the way. Just left.
Not on the way. They're you're not sure if
Just
they're coming
left.
up the mountain or not.
Yes. So she says there's a patrol just left.
Do I know if pickpocketing breaks my invisibility?
Pickpocketing does not break your invisibility.
Ooh, fun. I am casting Polymorph Self. So I want to find that patrol.
Okay, what are you polymorphing yourself into?
Well, I cast a spell. I don't necessarily have to take the form straight away. I ask Finn for what's a silent, relatively silent flying creature. And I would just take that form, because...
I'd point
Don't
out
you need
that
to-
a lot of hunting birds usually don't make a lot of noise
like an
Don't you
owl's
need to
fairly
know?
quiet.
until they actually attack. And I will point out that there's lots of hawks nearby.
But
Yeah.
Lafdul, don't you need to know the animal that you're turning into? Polymorph
he's already-
self, I mean, the only things that you've seen.
Yes, we've seen hawks. I've already been a hawk.
Okay.
I've also seen owls. I've seen lots of creatures in my lifetime. You know, it's not
But does he need,
everything that we've
Does he
seen
need-
in game.
Out of all of that, given what you want to do, I would recommend the hawk because owls aren't the fastest of flyers.
They also tend to be either nocturnal or at least like twilight type, dawn and twilight type hunters.
Right, no, I can take the form of a hawk.
Okay.
I just want to observe. I say I'm just going to observe them, basically.
Okay. So you wing your way
Just
over. How long does polymorph self last?
3 hours, but I'm going to make myself invisible. I'm going to use my granted power.
Okay.
So I can get a lot lower, because I cannot see not nearly as well as
Right.
Finn can.
All right. So you wing your way down the slope. They have completed at least half of like you guys have seen 2 other patrols, and they were out about an hour each. So they've been out for about a half an hour. So at your current guess, if that's following the trend, they've completed about half of their patrol by the time you get closest to them, to the point that you want to be.
I want to see if I can pick out spellcasters or spellcraft or something.
Right, give me a spellcraft proficiency
Like
check.
spell pouches, weapon, armaments.
Okay. If any of them are spellcasters, then they are dressed unlike spellcasters you've seen, because there are 7 total individuals, and they're all wearing armor and equipped with weapons. So maybe one is a priest, but
Any of them have holy markings prominently displayed on any of their equipment?
not holy markings that you recognize.
What?
They do have shields that have what you've been informed is the Talongran like kind of coat of arms, their national emblem kind of thing, and that is a 2-headed crow.
Have they all got edged weapons? Because I know at least for most clerics, they cannot use edged weapons.
Like yourself.
Yeah, I'm a specialty priest, so I mean, it's more rare to find specialty priests than it is clerics.
Yeah, so they all have swords strapped to their belts. They appear to be sabers, and 6 of the 7 have halberds, and they all have light crossbows. And they all looks like they have daggers at their belts as well.
I can obviously. They're obviously speaking in a language I wouldn't recognize.
So, Talangran is like common. It's highly accented, so you would need to make a check, modern languages check, to pick out what they're saying. It's the writing. They use a completely different character set for.
I'm just trying to look at. Would I divination magic doesn't break invisibility, right? Like no alignment.
Depends on the divination magic. It has to be a hostile act.
Knowing someone's alignment isn't necessarily hostile, is it?
Generally not.
It's
Like so that's the thing is like it's a hostile act. It's not that spell A will never ever break invisibility kind of thing. It's always depends on whether it's a hostile act. If you're
I'm just trying to
casting-
learn something
Yeah.
about someone. I'm not necessarily intent on causing harm. So my gut instinct is that if I do return to a human form,
Go with your
I'll
gut
still
instinct.
be invisible.
Go with your gut instinct.
Yeah. So I will try to predict their route. Fly somewhere a bit secluded. Cast no alignment because it has a duration of a turn. And scan them as they go past.
Okay, give me an intelligence
Whilst
check.
trying to hide in shadows, I guess, just in case.
There's no shadows to hide in here.
Is there
You're invisible,
nothing
though.
to hide? Yeah, intelligence 1D. Yeah, passed by 2.
Okay. All right. So you've basically predicted where predicted well, at least close enough where they're going to pass.
Asking
You're
time
just-
is
I mean,
1,
You're
so I
just
would have
trying.
got
Yeah, you're just trying to get like. It would be the kind of thing of like if they're going in a straight line right now, they would have to have turned, but they might have.
The range is 10 yards, so I do have to be within 30 feet of them. But
Yeah, that's
obviously, once I'm landing, I'm just standing still or
I know.
whatever.
Yep. All right. They get saving throws.
Yeah, save with rotating the gate.
Okay. Save versus spell.
I assume there's chances to get multiple readings off various ones.
Yeah, so let me go ahead and I will just roll.
I'm just trying to get a feel for what alignment they might be.
So there's 7 of them. Let's see. You do not get a reading on the leader, but you do get readings on all of the others except 1. So 5 of them. And there are 4. Is this no alignment?
Yeah,
Okay.
no alignment.
All right. 4 of them are lawful evil. 1 of them is lawful neutral.
Right. One of them's lawful neutral, huh? Probably a. Well, I don't know, either or. There might be a lawful neutral society with hell evil bent or something, the very rest.
Well, they are slaver society.
Yeah.
These are also military men. Like these guys they're marching in a regular formation. It's not just like random people out walking. Like they are dressed in uniforms. They have the same sort of equipment. These guys are clearly trained. This is functionally a unit. They're military men. The lawful makes sense.
In other words, it's the kind of patrol that doesn't want to find anything.
Perhaps.
Yeah,
Perhaps.
maybe.
They are looking about. They're not just like looking straight forward, just marching in a line, but they are definitely
Alerted to any kind of.
Yeah. I mean, again, like you're not observing them for very long, but give me another intelligence check.
I want to see if I can trail them a bit, moving silently behind them, see if I can pick up conversations.
Okay.
Nope.
That was just to see if you could pick out some stuff. You're not a military man, so you don't know what to look for in this way. All right. So, what is your move silently score?
80.
All right.
I'm not. Obviously, there's no shadows to hide behind, so it's just
You're
a case
invisible.
of just watching.
Right,
Yeah,
you're invisible.
Well, I'm
Move silently
Second
and
floor.
hide in shadows are two completely different things.
Yeah, I was just inferring that obviously I don't need to go as slow because I'm only moving silently.
Well,
You are moving somewhat slowly when you are moving silently.
right. That's
Yeah,
the thing
but not
is
as slow
right,
as when you're shadow.
move silently is the one that kind of determines the movement. Like you can hide in shadows and not move silently and move pretty quickly.
Oh. Okay.
Because
Alright.
basically if you're hiding in shadows but moving, and not trying to stay silent, you're flitting from shadow to shadow. You're like you're standing in one place in the shadow and then running to another shadow, and then running to another shadow, kind of thing. Like you're trying to move quickly, but if you're moving silently and hiding in shadows, then you're not doing that. You're trying to very slowly, very quietly move in darkness and everything like that. So, in this point, you're moving after them, and you will not be able to keep up with them, but you can stay within earshot for a bit of time. So give me a modern languages proficiency check.
Sorry, I gotta bring up my character sheet again, so I took it down. I believe it's going to be like a 14 or something. Modern languages, yeah, 14.
Yeah, I think it's just intelligence minus. Okay.
That's so foreign to me. Sounds offensive.
No, you cannot make out anything that they're saying. You to the point that you think that they're speaking a different language. You've been told that they speak Common, but you're like,
Does it sound like Common to me?
I have been in a situation where I, like when I was a kid and we traveled to France, did meet another kid who theoretically spoke English, could not understand a single word that he said.
Can I let them get ahead a bit? So I'm definitely outside of earshot, but I can cast a spell. Because I'm going to cast Mind Read.
What's the range on Mind Read?
No, I'm just going to polymorph back, because I can just keep on changing back and forth within a 3-hour duration.
You don't cast Mind Read on a specific target?
Nope. I can just choose who I want, as long as I have the spell active.
Okay. Alright.
The idea is I hang back, cast a spell, polymorph, and hover about them, mind reading them.
Alright, well, you won't be able to hover.
Wow,
but you can fly above. Yeah.
The range is 5 yards at a level, so 45 yards.
Okay.
And the duration is around the level, so only 9 rounds, plus minus whatever is for me to... -1 for polymorphing, minus another one to get there.
You only get surface thoughts, right?
Yes and... No, you can get deeper ones. Revealing the character class of the individual 20% of the time.
Okay. They get saving throws?
Only if they're being guarded, like they're aware of them.
Okay.
You know, like I was interrogating Red Nord, only in that scenario.
That's fine. Alright. The guy in the lead is definitely a fighter. And you get surface thoughts basically about just kind of like general things like, I wonder what the cook's gonna have for our meal tonight. I hope he's breaking out some of the mutton that got delivered a few days ago, that kind of thing. I'm getting a little bit of background noise somewhere too. That's kind of distracting. So it's kind of like the normal general thoughts. Some things about, like so and so, didn't clean up properly. In their quarters, and they need to be disciplined. What should I do for that? That kind of thing. This guy's clearly the leader of the group.
All right. Does he refer to like? It's just mundane faults. It's no like one I'm guessing off shift or something.
There's some thoughts about what he's got to do when they get back into the prison. There's specific, like, there's stuff that's unsaid that he understands that you're not able to pick up the context for.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So you don't know about times. You're not, things like that.
Alright. Do I get I see if I can get a couple of the others. I don't know, maybe they're thinking of anything else.
It's all pretty normal thoughts that you get from one or two of the others. Stuff like, one of my boots is beginning to go. I'm going to have to get, request a new pair of boots. Stuff like that. It's pretty mundane thoughts. Give me another intelligence check, and this time a roll with a -2 bonus.
Nope.
Nope. All right.
I failed by 1.
Okay.
Oh well.
Did you want to try to pick someone's pocket?
If I get caught,
I mean, you have polymorph, but they might, the fact that you're out in the middle of rolling grasslands.
They're all gonna try and grab me, so it's like an immediate reaction. They're all worried. It's a pretty good strength. It's like the one thing you do as a thief, you don't steal from the guards who can potentially, end you.
Well, I was more getting at the fact that it's going to be extremely suspicious that there is someone around all the way out here trying to pick their pocket.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if any of them have to wander off to take a leak or something. Or if they're that disciplined.
It's up to you.
I'll see if I can just brace them for a bit. See if one of them wanders off too. I'll just observe.
Okay.
Just follow.
Alright. Let's see.
After about 2.5 hours, after about 2 hours, I might be losing confidence in staying around them in the air. So I might just try and find a good vantage point and just observe from like on a hill cliff or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to suddenly fall out of the sky.
All right. Keep in mind that even if you fail a pickpockets roll, it doesn't necessarily mean that you get detected. So, and picking pockets will not break invisibility.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I just didn't feel like doing it right now.
Okay. All right, so you just kind of monitor them for the rest of their patrol?
Yeah, I see what I can learn about them. Just observations, but obviously, yeah. See where they're patrolling.
Okay. So
This is
about
like a
they stay out about an hour based on when Leva informed you of the response from Ascending. And based on what you know about because you watched one patrol in bird form, right? You and Finn,
I
or
don't
was
know
it
if I
just Finn?
have. I flew around the entrance. No, Finn saw them. I didn't.
Okay, all right. But based on what you've been told, I think you would conclude that they are on a different route than the other two patrols that you heard about.
Oh, so it seems like it's random. Then. Wow, different. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, then I'll just go up to a vantage point and just that's at least like on the way back that I can, resume into a humanoid form, presuming that it's been a while that my polymorph will probably end soon.
You said
So
your
I don't have to,
polymorph has
like-
3 hours, right?
Yeah, but I don't know how long I've been out here, so.
The patrol was out for an hour.
The question to Lafdul, is that 3 hours in total, or is that 3 hours in turns per level?
Well, it's
The wizard one is turns per level,
yeah, it's
which
the same
adds
as
up
you.
to about 3 hours, well, 2.5 to 3 hours for Lever too.
Hang on, let me check. What was it again? Alteration, isn't it? Polymorph self. Two turns a level. So yeah, no, it is 3 hours.
Right. So you basically did this right after Leva informed you what response you got back from Ockar, correct?
Yeah, I just flew off and went after them.
Overall, it was a bit less than an hour by the time they went
so I
back
got-
into the prison.
Oh, I got plenty of time then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have just flown back.
Okay.
Invisibly going to land on Solas. Just
Well,
land on his head.
He's on the lookout under a bit of cover. It's not easy to land on him.
Alright. I'll see if I can sneak around and peck at his foot or something. I'd probably break him invisibly because that might be classed as an attack.
Yes,
But
pecking his foot would definitely break your invisibility. He'd look back and see the hawk.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll break it.
So
Doing
Solas, you're laying out there. You've just seen the patrol go back into the prison, probably talking with Ockar, trying to decide whether you want to come back now or wait a few minutes just to see if they come out again or something like that. Kind of having that kind of discussion. When you feel something peck at your shoe and you whip your head around to see a hawk there pecking at your shoe.
Solas shoos the bird away with his quarterstaff.
I return back to my humanoid form.
Just as Solas is striking it with his quarterstaff.
Oh, give me an attack roll. Give me an attack roll.
Mm-hmm.
No, you do not land a blow on him.
Ah, pity.
How generous of you to not hit me, and just how you like to slay most of the party with your spells. Slay Paul after with your quarterstaff. Dangerous weapon, that. Yeah, no, I was, obviously, when Arca got the message from Leva, I took off to fly after the patrol, so I relay the no alignment. My observations of their classes, what they were thinking, routine stuff. We should probably head back and converse with the rest of the party. They're
Yeah.
probably not going to come in until late at night.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you all head
By
back.
the way, Old,
Mhm.
is there any noticeable difference on the amount of smoke the chimneys push out during the time we've been keeping eye? I
Not
know
that you
that.
can make out, no.
Okay.
All right, so you guys all get back to camp, compare notes. So Ockar and Solas would be able to also inform the rest of the party that the patrol was out for about an hour. It did
Did
not
it
take
leave-
a route that the other two patrols that you've seen have been on.
Yeah, I would be able to confirm that since I was there when the first patrol we saw left.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Did we see the which direction compared to the first patrol this one went?
So you've seen two patrols, one at night and one during the day. This is the
Yeah.
second one during the day. Are you comparing this to the other two patrols, or are you comparing it to just the other daytime patrol?
To the daytime patrol first.
Okay. Very roughly, this one went west, whereas the other one went east when they came out.
Okay, and since Braxon was, I think, the only one that saw the patrol at night, what direction it went?
They went south, and then around, like directly away from the mountain.
Okay, and north would be going into the mountain.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, what do you guys thinking? It's you're looking at about 2:30 at this point in the day.
Well, Solas wants to go and check the shack, and since he hasn't seen it personally, so that he might get some ideas.
Okay. So maybe spend an hour just going back to the shack, looking over it again, so that everyone is familiar with it and discussing it and stuff like that.
Do you want to take Ockar with you and Braxon to go up to the observation point?
It's fine with me.
Yeah.
I mean, if right now it's just a kind of a, hand wavy, everyone wants to, like, so that everyone is actually familiar with the location, how to get there, what it looks like, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I'm not too concerned about who goes and stuff like that.
Yeah, and
they can come back.
at the same time, Lafdul could show the exact route that you can use to get down from the mountain without being spotted.
Okay.
So everyone is familiar with that also.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess.
That works out. All right. So then everyone except for Braxton gets back to camp, and what do you guys want to discuss? Like you have some information about the interior. Do you want to get more information about the interior? Do you think it's time to start planning an actual break-in? That kind of thing. What are you looking
How
at?
big was the shaft?
6 feet.
air vent.
6 inches by 6 inches, so half a foot.
Okay. And how big would it need to be that people could get through it?
Like 3 feet by 3 feet, roughly. You could go a little bit more rectangular, but it depends a lot on how you'd actually get through it. Note that the shaft is hundreds of feet high.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd be looking at a long climb down if you were going to climb.
Yeah.
That's why it's better to.
So we don't have a rope long enough to get down the shaft to the corridors.
Probably not. Not without maybe some magic that created a rope or something like that.
4 of us can polymorph. If you and If Solas and Leva cast Flying Braxon and Ockar, that gets us down there, but not
Yeah,
necessarily
but
gets us
we
up.
also need to be able to come up with the prisoner.
Yeah.
Which
And that
is
also
why
takes.
if we don't get the rope down there, it's almost pointless at that point. Old question.
Mhm.
When I cast Etherealness,
Mhm.
I haven't done this in the times we've played, but I would think that Solas might have tested or find out at some point if it's possible to go down basically into the ground when you cast it.
I would say yes, and you would treat all of the ground as if there were steps. So you can
Okay.
stand on the ground if you want, or if you basically like concentrate and walk down, it would be like walking down steps.
It's like no clip mode.
Yeah, so it wouldn't be like just I want to go through the ground, so you just like fall. That's not how it would work.
How long would it take to basically then go down with Etherealness the distance that we would need to go down from the air shaft?
You'd probably be looking at an hour or so.
Okay, then it's too long.
Yeah. And Braxon, you had a question?
Yeah. If they were going to come up and have a chat, I was thinking that Braxon would have just gone as a lookout to spot for them while they were going down and coming back.
They just like marked out the location of the trail as opposed to going all the way down.
Oh, I thought they were going down to inspect the shed.
The shed is higher up. Yeah, it's higher up on the mountain.
Right. Okay. Well, anyway, I think Braxton would have come in if everyone's going to have a chat about it.
Okay.
And to Solas, he would say about the thing about we need to get back up the shaft. He would say we don't have to come out the same way. If we can open the door from the inside, we can come out the normal way.
Yeah, but the idea was if we were going, if we are going to be using it as a route in, we might as well use potentially it as a route out, since we might have been able to do this sneakily as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
But if what you are saying is true, then that route is potentially harder to get in and out.
Well, we don't have to get out the same way. It depends whether we can get the door open.
Yeah, but we want to keep still the option to retreat the same way that we get in.
Yeah, if we can get out that way, that would be great. But if we can't get out that way, it's not. From what Finn was saying earlier, we also have a bit of a problem working out what cell our passenger is in.
I mean that has been a problem from the start, and I've been saying that we most likely need to go to the warden's office.
Yeah.
Which is probably the furthest part away from the prison.
Not necessarily.
Did you figure out which was the warden's office?
I think he stepped away, but
Okay.
I think he'd be able to tell you that no, he did not.
Right, so...
Wait, were you trying to talk to me?
No, Finn.
At this time, we can get in, but we don't know exactly where we're going.
And don't forget, we have no idea how to come out because all of those spells, they're gone. So we'd have to wait until the next day to if we want to get back the same way.
Yeah.
I think waiting until the next day is probably on the agenda at this point anyway, so...
Yeah.
I mean, being down there 2 days.
Oh, you mean go down there, wait a day, and then get out kind of thing?
Yes, because looking at the amount of spells that we need if we want to take the route that we're talking about with, let's say, 3 different reduces for the 3 people who can't reduce themselves, then already we have to wait for the next day to be able to reduce them again.
Well,
Could
that's
you-
why Solas inquired about making the hole bigger or using etherealness to get down, but based on the distance, the etherealness is not an option since it would be too far away.
If we widen the hole, we still have to get back up, and if it
Yeah.
needs any spells, then quite probably we have to stay down there for a full day.
Well, the stone shape that would be used to widen the hole is permanent.
That may be
Finding,
so, but there are other spells involved as well.
I think that finding the door and opening the door and coming out would be better than waiting there for
Yes,
the whole sleep period, where we're going to have to guard spellcasters and
you'd have to do
avoid
that
being
anyway.
captured.
You'd have to do that anyway because any spell that we use to go down there won't be usable in a fight.
Yeah.
It's going to be the overwhelming majority of the time we're going to be fighting in melee more than spellcasting.
Based on what the image I'm getting from the how long of a distance we would have to go through the air events, and I think the chimney was also quite high.
Well,
Yeah, the
I've
chimney
got
is
my-
lower, but it's not a huge amount lower.
Here's an option.
So we most likely option that I would say which doesn't take too many spells would be to lure as many of them out as possible and then assault the gate.
You'll say I do have 2 potions of polymorph.
Yeah, but again, we would have to have the spell for also the prisoner, and the amount of time we take there, we don't know.
Do you think
Question,
you-
Old.
Yep.
How would Featherfall look like in this chimney that we're trying to go down?
How long does it last?
Oops. Ask me something I know.
Until you land.
Featherfall.
ping pong question?
Oh
Round
shit!
11.
One round a level, so not very long.
Right,
But
but you're
still-
still falling. You're just falling at a slow enough rate that you don't take damage. So
You fall at 120 feet per round.
Oh yeah. Even with a poor roll on level variation, an absolute minimum, your feather fall leva would allow you to get down to the bottom.
Okay, so Leva could really use Featherfalls to allow the people to literally fall down to the bottom.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You could also use it kind of like a halo jump where we start falling down the hole and you cast it about halfway down.
Would that work?
You can only cast it
Yes.
yourself. Can you?
Doesn't say
It works
so.
in a group, doesn't it?
Oh, wait. Yeah.
It doesn't actually mention anything at all.
Oh.
The creatures or objects effective. Let's see. They're talking in the plural, so
I didn't
So
realize
there's-
it was
there's-
affects one or
It
more objects
affects-
or
Hold on,
creatures
hold on,
Yeah.
hold on,
within
hold on,
cube.
hold on, hold on. There are two ways to cast it, basically. You can use it to protect yourself from missile weapons. That
Mhm.
is the area of effect version. Otherwise, you're casting it on one creature, I believe.
it does talk about plural creatures or objects.
Featherfall.
the-
Let me read. Featherfall affects one or more objects or creatures in a 10-foot cube. As long as the maximum weight of the creatures or objects does not exceed a combined total of 200 pounds plus 200 pounds per spell per level of the spellcaster. So that means
I don't-
that if we are in a 10-foot area around her, she could cast Featherfall on multiple people.
Does that mean we have to stay within those 10 feet?
No, I think that's just for the duration of the. I think you just have to hit us with that in the duration of the spell, and then we drop down.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. That is
Okay.
that is accurate.
So it would work for the whole group.
Yeah.
You know,
Good.
high enough level that Well, unless you roll the absolute minimum, our weight shouldn't be an issue.
Old already said even if Leva rolled the minimum, but that means
1,000.
that that's already quite good. Okay.
That'll get us in.
Well, that depends on the size of the shaft too. I mean, like right now, you'd still need to shrink yourselves down, and to widen the shaft, you'd be looking at a massive number of stone-shaped spells,
Yeah.
which you'd be casting one after the other as you're going down, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just to interject my 2 cents on the way out part. I think going back out the front doors is probably our best bet.
Agreed.
As soon as we step out those doors, I can cast a hallucinatory forest to help slow down any pursuit.
Or you
Yeah,
can
and
use
it would be kind of like the fact that there's a forest there is going to be like, this is obviously not real, but it doesn't matter if it's hiding you anyway, kind of thing.
Right. And all we need to do is get back to the flitter and go.
Can they disbelieve
I
it?
also put the Evard's Black Tentacles on your ring, and it protects quite a good area, basically slowing down or stopping the pursuers.
You drop that right in front of the door.
As long as you drop it outside the anti-magic zone, it would cover quite a good distance.
So it's all easy. If we drop down with Featherfall, after reducing everybody, then we free everybody in the prison, and
Well,
then
not
we waltz out the front door and get lost in the forest, and off we go. Sounds like, what are we going to do tomorrow?
Solas isn't agreeing on freeing everyone, since there's some real criminals there that don't deserve the freedom.
Finn will bring up the point that they would A, get in our way, and B, make it that much harder for us to get out of there.
True enough.
Who's to say they don't use us?
If we get this guy out and he becomes emperor, he can then order them to be released.
Yeah.
Or at least order the political prisoners and such released, and keep the hardened criminals there.
You have to understand, Leva is totally irrational as far as slaves are concerned.
They're not suicidal.
Not slaves.
I wouldn't put it past her to just go and open all the doors anyway.
Do remember that these are prisoners, not slaves.
Leva, you open a door, they run at you because they see you as a magic user. They are going to hold you hostage. And like, no, I'm not letting it go. You're getting me out of here because you are a magic user. You are my ticket out. I don't care for you.
Not necessary that they see me if Leva is invisible.
Hang on.
That's a possibility.
Can I ask Finn a question? Something you said earlier. Did you say that there were hatches in the floor and that food was being dropped through the hatches?
Yes, but they're very, very small hatches. You're not going to fit a person through it without some kind of magic.
Okay. So we're not going to get everyone out anyway. We're going to have to break one of those hatches so that we can get out the right person.
Well, he only saw he only saw the hatch in what is presumably the ceiling. He didn't see the other floor, the other walls of the cells.
Most likely, based on the description, those hatches are only used for feeding purposes, since that reduces the risk of prisoners trying to break out when you feed them.
Yeah.
And based on what the Elven Imperial Navy told us, the most dangerous prisoners are held in here. So
yeah,
there might be some high-level character NPCs there that are quite dangerous.
Well, but also political prisoners.
Yes, those also.
That could work in his favor of the new emperor, if he even wants a job.
Given the area you moved around in Finn, do you think you could estimate, and I'm not holding you to it, roughly how many prisoners there are?
Would Finn be able to tell that?
Give me an intelligence check at half your score.
Didn't you say it like take most of the day to do the feeding round?
Yeah.
That's not going to make half.
Okay. Then I will let you make a guess. Like, what is your gut? What does your gut say?
Well, I think it's a complete circle, but I can't really tell how big it is. And I saw, what, about 10 in that arc I could see?
So, in that one section, yeah, go in that one way, and you could presume, and I'm perfectly fine with you having glanced the other way and seeing the same number the other way. So,
Yep.
So you could see, and that was just on the visible part. You went beyond the visible part to find that figure, but you didn't say anything about counting the hatches. So, but
if they were regularly spaced, I could assume there's the same number in the same amount of space. So if I saw about 10 in that one arc, and I presume probably 10 total arcs of that 10 to 12, that would make it 100 to 120.
Right. Okay.
Give me another normal intelligence check.
Score exactly.
That's way too low.
Okay.
So basically, like you're going through this, like could have been this. Maybe if there was some more. No, that number does not feel right. I would have been able, the curve would have been tighter.
Okay, but we know it's more than 100. Braxon will say, that's okay, I don't need that inaccurate number. Basically, we don't have time to be letting hundreds of prisoners out of cells. We need to get in there, get to the one we want to find. If we accidentally open 6 cells looking for the right prisoner, and we let out 6 prisoners and they go running off, we just let them go.
Yeah,
and the local authorities will deal with it because we're on a mountain in the middle of nowhere. But we need to get the prisoner we need to rescue.
So real fast. Finn, give me another intelligence check.
Score exactly again.
Okay. So again, you're continuing to think about this, and you realize that that number's way too low. So you're thinking, you put it at like 100, 120, give or take, and then you're like, no, that's too low. You think that was too low by a third.
So there's 30 to 36 of these arcs then. That means 300 to 360 prisoners.
I have a potential plan to suggest. Since the chimneys and the air shaft they would require quite a lot of resources to be for us to be able to use them. What time did we notice that the smoke from the chimney stopped?
Hour or so after sunset.
And the patrol for the night shift went out after sunset also.
Yeah, let's see. That was
okay.
They went out about 2 a.m.
Okay, so
no. 10 p.m. Sorry.
Okay, so the plan I have in mind is that we prepare the chimneys for that we can quickly block them. Cause some kind of blockage. It's not necessarily to make it look like it's a natural blockage, since idea is that we block them about halfway for when the patrol is on their halfway route on the patrol route. At which point we are ambushing them also.
Give me so is the idea that you block them in such a way that Like there's like a visible landslide that the people out on patrol would see or hear, and then they come up to
No,
investigate?
the idea is that we neutralize the patrol quickly, and then block the chimneys so that they start filling smoke inside quickly.
Right, but if you're doing this at night, then you're gonna have to wait until the next morning.
No, we are doing it daytime since it wouldn't work on the nighttime.
If you fill up some of the chimneys and leave one of them open, I can smoke them out of my endless smoke bottle.
And basically the idea is that we neutralize the patrol, and then we cause them to send a group to fix the chimneys and ambush that also, so that when we then assault the door, there's less people inside.
All right, give me an engineering check.
Just a moment. I need to scroll to the proficiencies. Yeah, no.
Okay.
He's not a combat engineer. He's a civil
unless-
engineer.
Basically, the idea is that we get about 2 patrols worth of people outside before we assault the base.
Question to you.
Hold on, Braxon has something to say first.
Okay.
Unless we really need to block this in a way where we want people to look at it and see that it's been sabotaged, I would say we should still try and conceal it, because when the patrol comes out to try to unblock the blockage, we don't want them to get 50 foot away, realize something is wrong, and turn away and run. We would want them to come and start dealing with the blockage, and then we can leap on them.
All right,
yeah,
Finn,
but
give me
the
a
timing
wisdom
is quite...
check.
Who, me or
Finn?
Finn?
Yeah, Finn.
Whether or not you can do it, I guess.
So, Finn, based on the terrain there, and they have specifically positioned those chimneys so that a natural rockfall would not block all of them. So you think it would be pretty suspicious, and that's fine. It's just that you're not sure that you could make it look natural. That all of them got blocked at once.
Yeah, and my plan doesn't require it to look natural, since
Right.
we want to just as other patrol group also to get out, so we can get them before they go clear the chimneys and come back.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that was understood by everyone, that it would not be an attempt to make it look natural.
Just to extrapolate on his idea.
Real fast,
Just to extrapolate.
Leva, you had a question?
Yes, I have several questions now. One is, are we certain that these are the only vents that we've seen? Chimneys? Second
you
is
probably would have seen more smoke if there were other chimney shafts.
Okay. Did we actually look far enough, or were we just sitting there saying, "Oh, we found it"?
The people on watch have periodically been looking. That's how they know that the.
Also.
Wait.
Yeah, second question.
The second question is, what advantage do we get from getting rid of one or even 2 patrols? It's just that that way, with the whole site is alarmed. They know that something is out there that attacks. Everything will be full of people looking for us, and it will be much more difficult for us to get in and out again.
I think that what you could do in that regard, any reduction in the number of total people that they have means fewer that you have to go through down inside, and it's a lot easier for you 6 to take on 7 at a time and be relatively unharmed and use relatively few resources versus like 14, which would be 2 patrols at one time, or, and you got to assume that there is even more than that. So, 20, 30, something like that, however many there are. taking out small groups in controlled numbers is a lot easier than taking out, even if they're relatively weak individually, you get enough of them together, they can start taking you down.
I've got a question for the spellcasters.
Finn had something first.
Okay, sorry.
So just to extrapolate on Solas's idea, we take out the patrols, we take out the repair crew, and then we wait. Because they're going to eventually wonder what happened to the patrol and the repair crew, and they're going to send more people out. That we could then ambush those people.
At the doorway.
Or even just up in the caldera.
Well, the caldera would be farther away than the chimney,
They only have so many people inside this prison. We don't know what that number is, but eventually they're going to get to a point where they're not going to be able to send anybody else out.
All right, Lafdul says in chat they're going to request reinforcements.
Yeah, if they have spellcasters, they are going to request reinforcements for the nearest garrison. And if I remember correctly, what the Elven Imperial Navy told us, that it would be about 6 hours for them to get here.
Yeah, so you're looking at
on top of 6 hours for the messenger to get there.
Yeah, 6 hours to get there, 6 hours to get back. If they're just going going overland.
By that time, we should be gone, or something is definitely wrong.
The question I was going to ask is, do we have anyone who can charm one of the people in the patrol?
Leva has charm.
Okay, so
I think. Just let me have a look. Yes, she does.
Okay, so I'm thinking of a scenario.
Mm-hmm.
I don't so much care about the repair crew idea. We can do it, but I'm thinking of the patrol. We take out the patrol, we charm one of them, and we make ourselves look like the patrol, and we get the person who's been charmed to go ahead of us, and we go back into the prison and walk in through the front door. And then once we're in, then we'd have to fight our way to the prison cell. That would be a way to get in.
What would happen to the charm if that person walked into an anti-magic zone?
Yeah, that's true. That might.
Since
the doorway is anti-magic zone.
Anyway, Braxon, combining the two, I mean, there's nothing that says that we cannot get rid of the first few, well, whether it's repair or patrol or whatever, or people who come because they're alarmed. We can always do the charming and the putting on their uniforms at the end. We get more choice too. More people dead, we get more choice. Fitting uniforms.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if they've got an anti-magic thing, they can't send for help without coming out.
Well, they can use sending, but since the anti-magic doesn't cover the whole place, it's just from what we've seen covers the doorway.
Yeah. So I'm just thinking that if we had someone that was charmed with us, they could say whatever we need them to say to get the door opened, and they would be recognised, and the rest of us could have our heads down slightly because they wear helmets.
What we could do, if we can get Leva down, is what Lafdul wrote down in the chat, which is that Leva could test whether she can actually send something from down at the bottom. I mean, there's nothing we have to go that says that we have to do it all tomorrow. We can test theories, like go downstairs, go down to the bottom and see whether magic works, proper magic.
You could also, you also have multiple ways to get in, to scout out inside. You could try to get an accurate number of people in there.
That's true. Yeah.
If you know how many people are in there, if you also know, know how the, are the cells key locked? Do they have some sort of magic blocking them? You know, that kind of thing. You know, if you're going to need to go find a ring of keys with hundreds of keys on it, and then try each one until you find the right one in the door, or does it one key work on all the doors? You know, I mean, that kind of thing might be something that you want to.
Yeah, if we could monkey around with that shed to make it easier to get Finn and other people in and out, then we could do some searching around. We want to make it as easy as possible to get in and out quickly, I think, once we're going. People were talking about grabbing someone and reading their mind and making them forget. So that's possibly something we could do with a patrol. Might be easier with a repair crew though, if we block the vents and then. Here's an idea. How about if we block the air vents and we grab the repair crew if they were small enough, read their minds, made them forget, and then repaired the problem ourselves. So
that means we'd have to find all the air vents.
I see.
Yeah, I think our best bet before they
No, I mean,
realize that anything is wrong is just the chimneys and the one patrol.
Yeah, sorry, I meant the chimney.
One thing to also keep in mind is that if you do something that like blocks off air coming in or something like that,
Yeah.
and if you like wiped out all of the guards or something similar, and you don't free all the prisoners,
they'll all die.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty evil act, knowing that they'll die.
Yeah. Well, we don't want to kill the guards anyway.
Why not?
Why
They're
not?
just doing their job.
Because
they're not the ones who enslaved people.
We don't want to start a war. We just want to rescue someone.
I mean, they are already in war.
Yeah. Okay.
We are doing this as a part of war.
They're not slavers because it's a prison.
Not slave camp.
Yeah, it's prison.
Your typical rank and file soldier doesn't get to make any decisions about what happens. They just have to do what they're told.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're not at blame. You kill them out of necessity, but that's it.
Unless they're the kind that get a kick out of it, but we don't know that.
and that would be down to an individual by individual kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's some that genuinely enjoy that kind of stuff, and that's why they join up in the first place, but not all of them are like that. That's like a minority.
Yeah. Also, the person we're rescuing, after we've left the sphere, is going to try to win over the people on this continent. So if we murder loads of people, that's going to be used as propaganda against them. So we want to get them out without causing any trouble.
I mean, basically, we go in, but we are not going to be fighting the guards with a non-lethal combat. But if they surrender and such, then we basically just tie them up in a way that they can eventually free themselves.
Yeah. I don't know what we got to tie them up with.
Or be freed whenever, whatever patrol comes by from the main base to check on them when they haven't sent any messages out in a certain amount of time.
Yeah, and also to tie with, I mean, it's a whole base full of living quarters and such. I think they have enough sheets and such that you could use to tie someone up. But yeah, I think our best option, at least from a Solas point of view, is that we reduce their numbers with the two groups that we can potentially take out and then assault the entrance. The chimneys and the air shafts sound like they would require quite a lot of time and spells to be able to
Yeah, unless
be used.
But they get us in unnoticed and therefore give us time to do things before the alarm sounds and we're fighting everybody.
Yeah.
yeah, unless
If we just go in through the front door, the alarm sounds and we have to fight our way in and out.
unless we
But
take out
we would have reduced them by 2 groups.
unless we take out 2 groups at the same time, which is going to be hard coordinating a repair and a patrol at the same time. They're going to be on high alert if we take anyone out. If anyone comes out and doesn't return, that we'd be looking at bigger patrols coming out. People will try and send them a message to get reinforcements, that sort of thing. I don't think we saw any dangerous creatures in the area where people would just think, oh, the patrol obviously got attacked by tigers or something.
Nothing
That is
ridiculous.
another potential I thought about. Was there any... Is there anything that could... any flying creature that could have just picked up our patrol?
So
Flying
the problem
monsters?
is that any flying monsters would be living on this mountain because there aren't enough. Like you're looking at quite a distance to other mountains, kind of thing.
Oh.
Yeah?
What about elementals? Because they were using elementals to the shaft. Who's to say a few elementals didn't get loose and started taking revenge by killing patrols outside?
I mean, you
don't know.
You haven't seen anything, but you also don't know if there are, if there aren't any creatures around that could be dangerous. I mean, they do go out in patrols of 7 rather than like 2. So maybe there is stuff around that's dangerous. And even if there really isn't anything around that's particularly dangerous, that's well known or anything like that, who's to say that something didn't just happen to wander from someplace more dangerous? Like if there's an idea that you have of summoning monsters to fight them in the hopes of taking some of them out without giving away your what's going on, something to consider.
Net free patrol.
I mean, it that might be worth trying. It's at least, maybe you want to consider it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it kind of all comes down to how you want to do things. You would basically have a guaranteed. If you want to take out an entire patrol, you could probably do it. It's 6 on 7, but they're also military people. They're not likely to be like all 10th level warriors kind of thing.
Yeah.
To get a little bit metagamey. But whereas summoning creatures might be the sort of thing that wouldn't have as a guaranteed chance of success, but it might have that plausible deniability kind of thing, if that's something that you want to go for. So a lot of it depends on exactly how you want to go about it and what kind of cover you want to make and how much of a slow burn you're going to have on the setup for what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we're close to the end of the session anyway, so if you guys want to have some thoughts about it, might be worth looking over spells that you have available, scrolls that you have available, magic items you have available to see if you can, do illusions that are, like shadow monsters or demi-shadow monsters or monster summoning or items that you might have or none of that, and just focus on ambushing the patrols yourselves and taking them out.
You've got a scroll of monster summoning like 8 or something, haven't you, Solas? Anyone think you were a conjurer? I jest, I know you haven't, but still.
I have one scroll at least with monster summoning on.
So does Leva.
Out of curiosity, do you know which levels? Because if you're doing a monster summoning that I haven't created tokens for the monsters yet, I should probably
18.
do that. I'm sorry?
18. 18.
No.
18th
What's
level.
Two.
the
Monster summoning
2?
2.
Okay,
Yeah, I think
have,
it was.
I have tokens for that.
I
Let's
might
see.
have highest. I don't
Monster
remember outside. Right, I would have to check, but I think I might have monster summoning 4 on a scroll.
Like the 6th level one.
I'll have to double check that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's the absolute max.
Mhm.
That I would
And
have.
yeah, that's a spell you probably want to know.
Yeah,
don't you?
that's a spell I'm most likely going to learn at some point. I mean, monsters that you can summon are pretty useful.
I don't know, anyone think why you didn't become a conjurer?
Oh, I see. Monster summoning 6 on a scroll. So
Might
for
have
you.
been.
Is
Might
that the
have been.
Yeah,
7th
I'll have
level
to make that
spell
one.
then?
I'll have to make that one. I don't have tokens for that. Even if you're not planning, even if you decide not to use that one, I still need to have the tokens ready.
I mean, you have to have them ready for the time when Solas actually learns the spell himself.
Yeah, that's easier than when it's a thing. But I'll have that ready for next time,
That's like
just in
once
case,
a
even if you don't
year.
want to use it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shoot, you've got 2. You got 2 monster summoning 6 scroll spells on scrolls.
Might have been.
I think to be honest, that if we can get a bit more intel on where we need to go, we'd be better off just getting in through the hole in the top, and coming out through the front door and running up the hill, and going, rather than trying to take out people. As soon as we do anything where we take someone out, they will be on high alert. At the moment,
Wow.
Unless you can,
I mean,
unless you can really
do it
make it
silently.
appear, or make it appear. Well, even if they're missing, if there's someone missing, then yeah, they're going to go on alert. Unless you can make an explanation that makes sense to them that doesn't seem dangerous. That doesn't make them think that there is something else going on or some attack coming or something like that. Like,
Or you make them fight each other in front of in the front doors or something.
well, if you could do Dissension's Feast and put that in their dinner, that might be useful.
In theory, if I can find where they're cooking their food.
Yeah.
Also, you would have to be able to separate their food from the prisoners' food.
It won't matter if the prisoners get. They're just going to be rowdy and causing distractions for us.
Yeah, but we don't know if there's one or multiple people on the cells, and what if the prison cell that has our target becomes rowdy and someone there actually
knock him out.
accidentally kill our target.
all right, so it sounds like you guys do want to do at least another scouting trip in there. More information gathering. Does that seem accurate?
I think
Yes.
so. At least
Okay.
another day, probably.
Does anyone? Well, would anyone be wanting to do that this day? Like, is there any ability that anyone has this day to do something like that?
Didn't Leva
Not
have
without-
another wizard eye?
She has a second wizard eye, but so far nobody has brought up anything that she thinks she needs to use it. There was one point when Finn was
definitely.
there, but she was actually going to use it on one of those smoke chimneys.
Yeah,
do it
you
on
can
the smoke
use it still
chimney.
in there.
So the big problem with Wizard Eye that you discovered is that the duration is going to be a problem for getting down there and then exploring.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the
so you
smoke chimneys are shorter.
They are shorter, yes, they are shorter. But hold on. Do you know like an extension spell that would work on it? Because that increases duration.
She does have, but it increases the one she has a ring to extend, but that's the
Yeah,
is
that's
that
range.
really
That's range.
That's range, yes.
I'm talking about duration.
Let's see.
I've never remembered you casting it, so probably
What
on a
would that be
scroll if
called?
anything.
It's called extension. There's extension 1, 2, and 3. Those are the normal ones.
Oh, wait a moment. That's a scroll. She has a scroll. Where does that come from? 10's extension. So it's extension, just plain extension.
Okay, extension
On a
1
scroll.
then. That is...
And it's level 10. A 10th level.
Alright, let me check to see if extension 1... Wizard Eye is what, 5th level?
4th.
4th, okay.
And there's another extension one at 14th level. I hope you can't hear the noise outside.
No.
I can't.
You can.
I can't.
Every
Okay,
once in a
that's
while
good.
there's something, but it's not annoying. It's not bothering. Extension 1 is 1st, 2nd, or 3rd level spells by 50%.
All right, in that case, it's not worth it for this.
Yeah.
So she doesn't have anything for
might
this.
need extension 2 or 3. Let me
She
see.
doesn't know that one. We may have it on the book. I seem to remember having seen it, but
You wouldn't have the books with you then.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
would be in the library.
Yeah.
I'm not-
Speaking of,
Extension
what's
2
on-
is 1st through 4th level spells by 50%.
what do you
yeah,
have on
then it
your
wrote that,
First,
but she
fourth.
doesn't have it, so we
Yeah.
don't even need to follow it up.
what do you have on your ivory book at the moment? What spell? Is the symbol paint still?
Read emotion. Emotion read, whatever it's called. The priest spell, the 1st level priest spell.
Yeah, emotion read.
Oh.
She may
the
change
spell
it
that-
again, but not
I was going
today.
to say, I've had this spell the entire campaign. I've never cast it, so I don't think it's got that much use for you. As a bit of advice.
She wasn't very happy with the other spells. The one she really loved was the very first one, the warding one. That was nice,
Symbol.
but simple.
Turn it.
But too late. Tough shit.
No, you can mentally turn the pages.
Hmm?
You
I'm
don't need
sorry?
to. You don't need to physically turn the pages. You can mentally turn the pages.
Yes, but you can't turn them back.
Nope.
Yep. So that's why I'm saying too late.
Okay.
Tough shit. No point.
No, I meant if you decide that you
Go
don't care about
forward.
emotion read, you can go forward.
I may do that, but
Okay.
I always try and give it a fair chance, like with the one before and the one before that.
All right, that's fine. All right. So you could cast Wizard Eye and head down the chimney and see what you could see, or you can wait until the next day. Like, I mean, that will cut down on the amount of memorization time if you don't use it.
Yeah, she has long enough at 2 hours and 40 minutes because we were too lazy to actually walk up to Ockar and Solas.
All right. So you guys think that you'll just like keep a watch for the rest of the day and the night, kind of thing, so that next session we can start next morning, get your spells, and start doing some stuff.
Sounds reasonable.
Anyone else? Everyone else good with that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, old. There's
Oh,
two more
well,
tokens.
hold on. I asked a question. I would like. I have had 2 people agree.
I said, yeah, unless someone
Yeah,
wanted
for
to do
the
that.
day is over.
Hang on. Unless somebody wanted to do that thing where we put the shed on its side today.
I think Finn indicated he doesn't have the spell on him right now.
Okay.
Is
fair
that-
enough.
Is that accurate, Finn?
Correct.
Okay. So you're good with passing the rest of the day, kind of thing?
Yep.
Okay. So
One more?
Yeah.
That as an information for the others, Lewa will will memorize one dispel magic for tomorrow. She'll have one go as well.
Well, you'll have all week to discuss that and decide on your spells. So I'll let you guys have that. What you notice overnight is, again, the smoke from the chimneys does stop around like an hour after sunset, and does start up again about an hour before sunset.
Night.
Hold on.
Hang on.
The whoever is on watch, and I don't really care who it is, I'll let you guys figure that out, at the lookout point overnight will indicate that the patrol went out at 5 a.m., getting back at 6 a.m. basically just as the sun was rising. If you do want to pickpocket at night, Lafdul, I will let you, but you would need to... Not at 5 a.m., fair enough. So they went out at 5 a.m., got back at 6 a.m., and they, again, took a different route than any of the others.
Was it which direction it is then?
They basically went east.
But
not the same east that the other group went east.
What one question I've got, which would be to the other characters in the group. My understanding was this hot cage like thing, not cage.
Heat metal truck.
Great.
Yeah, the hot grate in the hole. Was there a non-hot grate above it?
No.
It's a shack that has grates.
Yeah, okay. So the hot grate in the hole, what I understood was people were talking about getting it out.
Yeah.
So if we can do this thing with flipping the shed tomorrow, we can be digging that out. And what were people talking about dispelling the magic to make it go cold, and then we pull it out and put it somewhere?
You can dispel it and completely make it inert. You can adjust the terrain magically around it and just pull it out, and then it's just a hot thing. You just leave it aside, and it's no longer an issue.
Yeah.
Well, they were
At
the
that
two
point,
major
we could
options.
Take it with us.
How are you going to transport that?
Yeah, we take that on the flitter.
various
It's
ways.
going to be damaging the flitter. Also, there's a lot of us.
It's like pass a hot potato before your hands melt.
It's not a primary objective. I would say, if we don't come out the same way we went in, we're not going to be going looking for a hot grate. Okay, so how long do we think it would take doing that? Getting that grate out?
Depends whether or not our spells work.
Yeah.
It's whatever made it permanent is extremely high level.
Solas, did you bring that rabbit that tunnels?
It can't tunnel through stone.
No, but could someone do rock to mud?
You don't actually know whether it can or not.
I would
think
say
we tested it.
Did you bring it?
Yes, it is with me, but the shaft itself is worked stone, so it doesn't work. Since you can't turn worked stone into mud.
I think rather than trying to dispel it, considering the level of difficulty it may represent, based on an educated guess, which is a good hunch, we should just adjust the terrain around it and lift it out.
Yeah.
Because that's more reliable.
We don't actually need to talk about this today, just now.
No.
We're already very late.
Yep. Okay. Well, that's...
Yeah, I mean, come up with there's come up with the things that you want to try for next time, so that you know what spells you want to take, and again, like, you can be free form on how it you know, you don't need to do all kinds of contingencies on if this then that and blah blah blah. If you dispel the magic on the grate, or you don't dispel the magic on the grate, if you still want to get it out, like, you know, I mean, some of those things are going to happen no matter what, kind of thing. So I wouldn't worry too much about those. But yeah, you know, try things, certainly. And in my notes, I don't have any indication that you use that that you've ever tried that rabbit on stone.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think you should try it.
I mean, it's up to
Doesn't
him.
work.
But,
It doesn't work.
it is something to consider if you want. But yeah, someone about to ask me something? No?
That was a question,
Yep.
since nobody else speaks up. Is there a difference between worked stone and other stone? Since people say that you can do something on normal stone, but not on worked stone.
With some spells, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, for
Thank you.
example, softened stone and earth doesn't work on stone that has been worked, whereas shape stone works.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so let's see. That is going to be that, and that for you. Okay. All right, so that is going to be that's going to be 1,000 XP for everyone, an extra 200 for Leva, an extra 500 for Finn, and for Lafdul, an extra 50 for your thief.
Actually sneaking around the guards.
Yeah. I've got a lot more for pickpocketing, but
and
Lafdul,
Lafdul,
right now.
the air elemental is not in a direct line down the shaft; it's off to the side.
Oh. I don't even know if lightning would work on an air elemental.
I don't think any of you have ever encountered an air elemental.
Dust devils. They're minor
but
elementals.
They are, yep. But what
not-
works on minor elementals doesn't necessarily work on full-blown elementals and stuff like that.
Mhm.
All right, so that is going to wrap us up for this time. When we come back next time, we will see what you guys have in mind with regards to the shack and the grates and the vents, and whether you do some more scouting. I want to thank you guys for playing, and I want to thank everyone out there for watching. I really do appreciate it. And we will be back next time.
Thanks
See you
for
then, everyone.
game.
Take
Thanks
care.
for the game.
Thanks for having
you.
us.